guys, how are you? I'm using a different microphone, so y'all let me know how the audio works out. I'm gonna be moving around, so I can't use the regular microphone. So I'm using my ISO tunes, so the audio quality may not be what you're used to. But hopefully it'll work, so that I can move around. Oh, is it bad? I was hoping it was going to be better. All right, give me just a second. Let me swap this out.
All right, is that better? Oh, well, I think what it is, Jeremy, those things they work really good. These are little ISO tunes I can use to listen to my phone while I'm working in the shop and everything. But they don't have really good range, so I'll just try to keep the boom mic to where at least y'all can hear me. I may have to like swing it way out here, but yeah, but because I'm gonna probably be going between here and there, so I didn't want y'all to not be able to hear me. But in order to read comments, I'm gonna have to be over here anyway. So yeah, y'all lucky that I waited till 5 to open this thing. Luckily, I had a few things I had to do on the internet. Me and Etsy just got through with a very, very, very tense couple of days. Uh, while we're waiting to see who all is going to show up, I'll let y'all guys know. If some of you tried to go to my Etsy shop and couldn't find it or couldn't buy anything, I'm sorry. I did my taxes earlier in the week, and I realized that Etsy still had me listed as my social instead of my EIN and all my business information. So because I'm OCD and I had everything, all of my other stuff was in my EIN and everything looked good. I had started my Etsy shop before I actually became a business, and so my Etsy was still, I was still getting that 1099K form uh, to my SOC. So I wanted to update it because I'm like, I've got a business now. I'm legit. I can go in and put all this stuff in there. And so I guess I need to do a video on this because it freaked me out, guys. I thought I had lost my Etsy shop. I was panicking. Luckily, I'm diversified enough that I can still pay the bills if I lose Etsy, but I wouldn't be happy about it at all. So what I did is I went in and put my EIN number in there. Then it wanted to validate my LLC through the state. So it asked for my state ID number. I'm thinking you're trying to validate my LLC. You want a state issued number. So that's got to be the number down there by the seal on the bottom of my LLC, my articles of incorporation, right? I mean, that sounds like the logical number. So I put it in and I hit enter. And it said that the information didn't validate. So I'm like, well, maybe I typed it wrong. And it wasn't, you know, it wasn't one of those things I was paying attention to. So I put it back in there again and hit enter. Well, then I get an email saying that my shop is put in suspension until I can correct my information. And it put it in vacation mode. And so I was pulling my hair out. I went all over Etsy site. I was emailing, messaging, all this stuff, trying to figure out what in the world I needed to do. Couldn't find any guidance on what I needed to do to get this issue resolved. Well, then finally, after 2 days of my Etsy shop being closed, I started just basically playing detective. And I was like, okay, for Etsy to be able to validate it, they got to be doing it through the internet. If it's done, like, boom, it's done. It's got to be done through the internet. Chances are it's the Attorney General's website. So I went to the Attorney General's website. I put in the number that was on my LLC paperwork, and it comes back to some guy in Andalusia. And I'm like, well, therein lies the problem. So what I did is I just searched for my business by name. The number popped up that said, identifier number. And I was like, okay, well, that's a different number than is on any of my paperwork, my business license, my sales tax permit, all that. And so I wind up, I'm like, well, let me just try that. So I put the number in there, searched it, boom, the Clack Shack. So I'm like, okay, if they're verifying it through the internet, this is probably the number that they want. So I went to Etsy after 2.5 days of no Etsy, put that number in there, hit the button, boom, your business is confirmed, everything's validated, you're good to go, and my shop comes out of timeout. So that was very stressful. It had me saying some very unpleasant things about Etsy. I love Etsy, don't get me wrong, starting out, small business, trying to get some stuff going. Etsy's good, but if that happens to you, just know, go to your Attorney General's website, search for your LLC, find out what that number, and I passed this on to Steve, because Steve, when I reached out to him, he said, yeah, I tried putting my LLC numbers in, and it did the same thing to me, but I didn't try it the second time, so he didn't get locked. But somebody was just overly confident, and went ahead and hit the button twice, thinking that I had everything right, and they pure throw me in timeout. So, but anyway, back to what you came to see. Maybe this is everybody. But yeah, it was very stressful. They called it vacation mode, and it had this real nice, pleasant message that was going out to everybody of, hey, I'm just taking a break, trying to catch up on my orders. Bull. I wasn't trying to catch up on orders. I was trying to figure out what I did wrong in my taxes that got me locked out. So, but anyway, I got that fixed. My Etsy is legit now. It's got my LLC information in there instead of my SOC. So the world is good again. And I come home after getting my Etsy shop restored sometime today around lunch when it finally came back online. And something just told me, go check the package box. Because I had mentioned to xTool that you guys were wanting to know about the F1. And when I checked the package box, that's what I saw. So good, good deal. And I'm actually I don't do a lot of little bitty stuff like that, but I'm gonna be honest with you. We were talking the other day at the police department about, we have like handcuffs and we have keys that nobody knows what fits and stuff like that. So I was like, if I had one of those guys, I could technically have a laser in my office, justify it, and not get in trouble for having a laser in my office. So it may end up going to the PD to mark stuff with. So if y'all want to see anything about it, you may have to let me know in advance so I can bring it home from work. But anyway, well, that didn't work as smoothly as I'd hoped. Let's get it open, see what's in the box. Oh, and I do have, just in case, y'all make sure you took your Dramamine today, but I do have the portable camera today. So we will be using that as well. But I also have the overhead camera, so we'll use that for right now. See, this is a little technique that I use with a box cutter, is I only expose like that much of the blade. It only takes cutting a couple of objects to figure out you don't need all of that blade. Whoa! All right. So we got is this a book? What is this? Tear. There's a box in a box. Oh, the cats are gonna be happy. Hang on, let me get that out for the cat. $5 says I have a cat in that box by the end of this video. Alright, so nice little book. Y'all know I ain't wanting to read a book right now, so we're gonna put that to the side. Alright, what we got here? Nothing in there. xTool. Oh, geez. Okay, got some materials. Got a little material pack. Got a little base. All right. I'll be over there to check comments in a minute, guys. I can't really see the screen from over here. Power cable, USB. Brick. The dongle. Do not lose this. Do not lose that. Nothing else in that box. Ping, shing. Well, that'll come in handy. All right. We're good. All right. Well, unboxing was very uneventful. Nothing I wasn't really expecting. That is quite the little materials bundle they sent, though. Move that mic around where you can hear me a little better. So, I guess I could switch you over to the other camera. I wish there was a way I could get audio off that iPhone. That'd be nice. So what I'm going to do now is, it's got all this packaging tape wrapped around it. So I'm going to get all that off. Hopefully it won't be hard to get off. Okay, I just noticed it actually has one of the dongles already plugged into the machine, so hopefully I got a spare. So I do know that you got to keep up with that because that's like a security key. You take that little USB looking thing right here, you take that out of there, and it doesn't work no more. So you want to leave that in there. Off and on, power. It's got a plus sign, so I'm guessing maybe like a rotary or some other parts that goes with it that I didn't get because I asked for just the little machine. And kind of an illustration for a fan. So I'm thinking that's going to be the fan. But yeah, it's got a little small fan there. We got an e-stop button here. I may actually have to read the book. I haven't watched enough videos on these things to know exactly how to work it. So this is going to be very much like if you just got one and you don't know nothing about these machines, because I never really planned on having one until Steve started showing his off. And, you know, like hashtag Steve has every xTool. So then I decided that, what the heck, I'd try one out. And y'all guys kept asking. So let's get it over on the table, and I see that there's a bunch of foam in here, so I'm going to have to unbox it. Let's make sure I ain't fixing to tear something up. I'm not like Steve. I haven't done one of these before. So I just want to make sure I got everything like it needs to be, got all this stuff out. Well, that's really not helping none. That really doesn't tell me. Okay, I don't see the right way to get the stuff out, so I'm guessing there is no wrong way. Always remove the lens cover. All right, it looks like we got it all, guys. So we'll let this back down. What you doing over there, Steve? Title's already subbed to Jack's channel. Looks awesome. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Now, I will tell you, it looks can be deceiving with this thing. It looks like it wouldn't weigh but like 2 or 3 pounds, but it's actually kind of, it holds its own as far as weight. You just need a plug with a different end. I've got all the ends for the RA2, so that shouldn't be a problem. I've got two RA2s. I've got one that has the plug. I think this is the same plug that the P2 uses, or is it the F? Anyway, I've got all the cables for the RA2s somewhere. I just have to find them. Needed that. All right. Now, this cable is not very long. Luckily, I have USB hubs everywhere. All right, guys, give me just a second. My perimeter alarm's going off. Let's go make sure it's Brandy. All right, we're secure. It's the wife. Okay, here's the instructions I was looking for earlier. So, yeah, that was what I needed a while ago. So this actually just kind of tells you what everything does. The only thing I haven't figured out is, so I guess we're good. I guess now all we need to, what is it? Well, it's not tripwires, Jack. Those are illegal, and those could accidentally harm somebody unknowingly. So you just need perimeter sensors, and then you whatever you have out there, you have to have it to where it's manually triggered. It can't be automatic. All right. So I think we're ready, guys. Oh, look at it.
Got those cool xTool lights in the front.
All right, so now I need to get XCS up and going, so I'm going to have to move you guys up to the top screen so that you can see the bottom screen. And we'll go from there. Uh, I hear everything installing, so... And I was on the beta, but I had some problems with my S1 that me and xTool are working on. So I went back to the old software. Let's see here. Uh-oh. Oh, this is the scary part. Let me move this down here where you guys can see it. Because this is where I run into problems with my S1 the other day. So let's see what happens here. All right, so new firmware. Y'all are my witnesses. It's connected. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to update it. Hopefully this goes well. If not, it's going to be a short unboxing video. But I feel like this machine, since it's came out, they've done some improvements to it that require the firmware. So we're just going to rock on with it. If it messes up, I've still got the box sitting here. So we're waiting on that to finish. Hopefully it won't take too long, and we'll just wait on that to finish. It may take a couple of seconds. No, Steve, I didn't get the fume extractor or any of that other jazz. I've got plenty of ventilation and stuff, and I don't have room for all that. I did want to try the machine out, and y'all can hear it's power cycling and connecting, disconnecting, and all that. So I'm guessing it's finishing up on the firmware install. But no, I told him I just wanted just a machine. I have a RA2. If I do want to try that out, I can. That little movable base. Let's face it, guys. If I've got to go through that much trouble with a machine this small, I'm just going to throw it in another machine. I've got the longer that has a little movable base with it, and if that's all you had, I guess it would be a good addition. But I'm not going to be using it. So this thing, I actually think I may be able to use to do other stuff. And please tell me it's going to power back up. We're just going to sit here and wait patiently. I do know the lights have went off and it's not doing anything currently. It says it completed, but it also says do not turn off the device. So show you what I'm looking at. So that's what I got. Oh, there it comes. There came the lights. It's alive. So that's good. We didn't kill it completely. But all right, we got confirmation that the firmware was successful. So there you go, guys. No guts, no glory, right? The machine just reconnected to the computer. So hey, we've got the lens cover off of it. They sent me plenty of materials. So let's make some smoke. First, I'm going to rig up my exhaust. So give me just a second. Let me steal my exhaust pipe from the MK2. I'm gonna run it over here and engineer it to work with this guy. Always keep adapters on hand. And if you ain't got tape on it, it ain't redneck enough, guys. All right, so we've got our makeshift exhaust connected. So we should be good. Let me get some materials and put in here, see what it does. All right, y'all want to vote? What do we do first? This is y'all's video. Y'all tell me, because I'm probably going to run through this whole pack of material they sent me tonight. All right, so we got a couple of leather patches. A couple of cross-cut cookies of material, wood. Looks like some acrylic. I think that's acrylic. We got some anodized cards, some stainless steel trinket things like a dog tag, maybe a little pet tag. A little Slate coaster. Not sure. Maybe some of that scratch paper stuff. And some basswood. So, any votes? Anybody want to see anything particular first? What do y'all think? I think I want to see wood first, me personally. But I think I want to try it on. Let's just try it on the basswood. Nobody throwing anything out there. The basswood looks a little big for the work area, but I have seen Steve use his, and I do know that you can just let the door down till he hits it. Hopefully. Yeah, it came with an assortment. You get to run the gamut with it. Both these pieces are the same thickness, so we'll just play with one. All right. I'm assuming that this works the way most of them do. So I've aligned the two dots so that they're like not touching, but they're like right there beside each other. So yeah, I think we're good on that. I'm gonna slide it to the side so that we don't burn up the whole piece of material in this one test. It's kind of trying to trip over to the side on me, so let me put something under it. Let me put this lids cover under the edge so it sits level. I could put it under the machine. No, because then if I decide to cut, I'll be forgotten. We'll just set it right there. Yeah, my luck, I'll put it under the machine and then I'll forget and I'll cut a hole in my table. All right, so let's go down to the screen, guys, and we'll see what we can come up with. So we don't have a camera, so y'all can, pretty much that's not going to happen. What we can do, though, is we can do a little rectangle here, and can't remember if it goes up or down. All right, we'll do 10 by 10. That darn lock. We'll do 10 by 10 squares. Then we'll go over here. Where's my array tool? Material test. This is one of the first. It goes down. I couldn't remember whether it went up or down. So we'll start with. Oh wow, we have millimeters per second. 4,000 millimeters. What? 10 millimeter? No, we don't want to go 10. We'll go 200 to 500. Okay, I think that'll work. All right, so let me bring this up into the work area. It's going to take up most of our work area. And we'll go from there. I guess we're good. Laser flat. Let's see what all we got. We got laser cylindrical, open plane, laser extension. So yeah, we're going to go with laser flat. I do know that there's a way you can change the diode. Let's see what I got going on here. How do you change it from one diode from one laser type to the other? I missed that. Let me grab my little book over here. Okay, so pushing the button on the side of the machine apparently frames the work area. Okay, so I'm guessing we're in blue laser mode. I'm gonna have to look and make sure. I don't know how to swap it. Like I said, guys, never had one of these, didn't do any research. Totally unprepared for this. So this is gonna be as real as it gets as far as coming into a new machine. And wouldn't you know it, this is just an assembly book. All right, let me figure it out. Intruder. Hello, how are you?
Good. How are you?
We're just playing with a new laser.
You on live with your new laser?
Yeah.
That didn't take you long to get that thing out of the box.
Well, it's not very much to get it out of the box. All right, I'm pretty sure it's in blue laser diode mode, so we're just going to go with it, guys. Brandy is here, so everybody be on their best behavior. No tattling. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and we'll go down here to the screen and we'll go ahead and see if I can process it. I'll figure out how to swap over to the other diode or the other setting here shortly, I hope. So here we go. Wow, that's fast. Okay. Somebody did something terribly wrong in the setup of their file. Oh, it's on score. That's why that was so terribly fast. Let's try that again. No, I didn't read any instructions. What the fuck is that? Hey, I did forget to bring me a glass of tea out here.
I bet you're thirsty.
Yep.
I'm not gonna get you something.
Oh, I did something wrong. I messed up somewhere.
Well, I was just wanting to visit. See, I'm glad you got your Etsy. I'm gonna see you today.
Okay, so that crazy fast engrave I did, I actually only scored it. So I'm having to figure out where I went wrong here. But yeah, I got my Etsy shop back. I was very, very happy about that.
Yes.
All
Alright,
so,
I'll go get you some tea.
but yeah, if you could bring me some tea, that'd be awesome.
Sure, I may have to take some.
Hopefully there's some tea in there.
There wasn't much this morning. All in my head.
All right, so I'm not sure why I'm not getting the results I want on my speed test. I think it's because I don't know what I'm doing. Hey, there's a cat. Yes, and the xTool F1, guys, it is completely cat safe. So even if your cats decide to come visit and they want to check things out, you don't have to worry about their tails getting caught in the laser. Fluffy, you're blocking their view, baby. Oh, there's a laser behind you. All right, so I got it working that time. So all I had to do basically was exit out of there and come back. And guys, this thing's fast. Hang on. Let me go to the wireless. Oh, wireless is not working. What happened to my wireless? It says it's working. Yeah, that's the way I'm. I'm not big on instructions, guys. So if you ever want to know what a machine's going to be like if you recklessly just rush into it and play with it, that's just look at what I'm doing. Why is my camera so pixelated? Let me see if my wireless is working. Does it look pixelated to y'all? It did look pixelated to me. No, it's not. All right, hang on. So. So there's what it's doing. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. That's pretty impressive. I've tested a few of these things, and the speed is pretty impressive with this guy. Can't complain. That corner's kind of messing with the image. Hang on, let me relocate y'all. Are y'all able to still hear me? I'm guessing. It appears that my audio is still picking up. So, yeah. That's insane. That is wicked. And my redneck engineering on the hose is actually doing a pretty good job. I can smell just a hint of it now, but not bad. So there we go. So there we are, guys. Right before your very eyes. Now I do think that when I changed the settings on it, maybe I put them all at the same power and speed, but because I did the basswood engrave settings, so I think we're good on that. I kind of want to see if it'll cut. Steve says it'll cut. He says it doesn't necessarily cut well, but he says it'll cut. So let's see what happens. I'm going to use that same test and create me a rectangle that's about as big as the work area. Oh, you guys can't see this. Hang on. Create me a little square, and I'm going to set that to cut using the blue light. And so let's go put our material in there and see if it'll cut through it. All right, here we go. Hitting the processing button, getting the preview, and start. And I gotta go push the button. You actually push the knob. I'll let you guys see this. There you go. There you have it. It's probably not going to be the cleanest cut that you'll ever see because that beam, there's no way that thing's getting any air assist. But cutting's cutting. You know, and this is 3mm material. I definitely would not recommend, if you're wanting to do a bunch of thick material cutting, this probably isn't your guy. Oh, see there? That's why you keep those little spray bottles handy just in case. But there's really nothing that it can consume other than it's the wood itself, so I'm not concerned with it. There's a pretty good bit of a breeze in there that'll keep it knocked down, hopefully. Yeah, I don't think I'll be cutting much wood with this machine. But
Got about a half. And water. It's good
and
for
it's
you.
cat safe. Did I mention it's cat safe, guys?
Water's good for you. That'll make
Callie,
it-
get away from the laser, baby. Okay. Just for reference, there's a cat sitting next to the laser. And she can't stand it. She's trying to figure out what's making that noise. Oh, and here comes another cat. Yeah, thank you. You said you're making some more tea? Maybe? All right, guys, what y'all want for supper? I don't know. We got some chicken livers, salmon patties, chitlins, squirrel soup. I don't know. Whatever you feel like cooking will be fine. It's negotiations for what's for supper. More CNC videos. Yeah, I guess I was supposed to use that, wasn't I? See, it still did it. But in fairness, we'll do it again with that plate, see what kind of a difference it makes. I mean, it still did it. It just left a little residue, that's all. And didn't cut quite all the way through, but I could knock it out of there. But we'll shrink the size of our square and we'll go for it again. I was using the cutting plate to hold my camera at the right angle. Now I'm going to have to use this piece of leftover styrofoam. All right, and I also did not forget to focus. I was afraid I was going to, because it's got that, you have to twist the knob for like up and down to focus it if you don't have one or had never used one. So that's, and then you use the little 2-dot situation to do it. So I've got it still on cut. 3 millimeters a second, one pass, 90% power using the blue light. That's their recommended settings. So that's what we're running. I'm gonna see if I'm not gonna change the settings. I'm gonna see if it makes a difference using this little cutting plate. See if we got less sparking and flaming and all that good stuff. So here we go. I'm gonna put you on the wireless and go hit the button. Now that plate actually does let it get a little more ventilation through there, and it's pulling it through the bottom of the enclosure. So yeah, I could see where that would actually help resist flame ups because you're getting the air, the fan's technically pulling the air through the cut. So it's kind of like negative air assist coming from the bottom. So that actually should help mitigate some of the flaming problems that we had. Probably help even more if I had the material all the way under the cover. Now, there is a good bit of blue light coming out of the bottom of that thing. So, safety first, guys. Put some glasses on with that thing in there, just in case. Yeah, definitely much cleaner doing it that way. So whoever mentioned that, yeah, the little plate thing is definitely an improvement. Now, it really didn't make that big of a difference in the penetration as far as the cutting goes. It's acceptable, but I would probably, if this were something that I really didn't want to have to pull loose, I would have probably set it to run 2 passes and maybe bump the speed up just a little bit to avoid some of that scorching. So I think what I want to do is kind of play with that a little bit, especially if some of you guys have one of these. It might be something helpful. So I'm going to redo that burn right there. So give me just a second. So this is using their recommended settings, 90% power, speed of 3 millimeters. I'm going to go ahead and run it up to 100% power. I'm going to run 6 millimeters because that's my go-to. I'm just going to set it to 2 passes to see if I get a little bit cleaner cut and easier drop. So let me go put the material back in there. Actually, I'm going to go to the different piece of material because that one's got too unstable. All right. Processing. So let's see if that bump up in power and the extra little bump of pass is going to... Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to hit start. There we go. Swapping you to the wireless so y'all see what happens. All right, so going a little faster should keep the flames down, hopefully. No, maybe not. But it definitely should drop out of there easier than it did with the 1 pass. And you could play with this. I would run 2 passes just to keep to keep it from scorching it as much. I would run 2 passes anyway, but you could play with the speeds and see exactly where in 2 passes you needed to land. But that should give us a lot cleaner results. So, will it do the recommended settings? Yes, it will. If it were me, I would keep bumping that speed up, leave it at 100% power, keep bumping the speed up until I got a little cleaner edges. And because if you're going twice as fast and you're making 2 passes, it's still going to take technically the same time. You don't have to cut in 1 pass all the time, especially if you want cleaner results. So I'm going to bump it up a little more and just see what it will do as far as the settings go. So I've got it at 100%, 6 millimeters a second. I'm going to run it on up to, I think 8 should be a good safe number. And we'll do another test to see if we get a clean drop still. So let me go ahead and send this over. That's one benefit, I guess, with this little guy is you can send the engrave over to the machine when you hear it beep. Then all you got to do is put your material in there, let the lid down, hit the button. So I guess with this one especially, that button may not be so aggravating. Y'all are asking about the angle. I'm going to be honest with you. Is there a little bit of an angle? Yes, maybe. Is it enough that you're going to be able to? Well, maybe I can see it, but for crafting or small projects and stuff like that, I don't. It's not enough to discourage me, because if you were doing a box or something, I mean, literally, you could hit it with a little sandpaper, and make it flat in literally like maybe two movements of the sandpaper, because this is really thin material. It's not really that hard. So the angle really doesn't concern me. That work area is not that big. Now, if you got way on out there, then yeah, it'd probably be a little more noticeable. But let's see here. Let me move my, well, I done put it in there now. Let me see if I got it in the right place. Yeah, that works. All right, going wireless on you. And so this is still just 2 passes, but I did step the speed up a little bit just to see if it stays cleaner. And that's already failed, guys. It didn't take 2 passes that time. Nah, must have been a really soft piece of material there. Huh. All right, so will it cut? Yes. Is that what this machine's intended for? I don't think so. Yeah, and you can barely tell that. I mean, there is an angle. If you look really carefully and under the right circumstances, you can see it. Right now, the angle's kind of going that way, but it's literally maybe a quarter to a half a millimeter off from the other side. So, not bad. Not bad. No, I didn't get the extension. I told him I didn't have a need for that, because that wasn't, in my opinion, guys, especially in my shop, I didn't want to get something that I wasn't going to be using. This, I think, has practical applications for events, portability. If you want to do little small stuff, I think this has usability. When you start trying to extend it to get it bigger, I think at that point, if you're going to do anything that big, because I think it would benefit you to go ahead and buy a bigger machine, because I can engrave something on a cutting board that's 5 feet long. If all I want to do is put a logo on the corner of a cutting board, I can set that cutting board in there, let the lid down, and engrave it. I don't need it to move back and forth. To me, the only real benefit of the moving back and forth, yes, you can engrave a bigger area, but that's not something I'm going to be doing a lot of. And so I felt like I could use this. This has practical applications here in the shop. The conveyor, not sure. Now, if they just insist on sending it to me, sure, I'll try it out. But when the mention of it came up, I told them that I didn't think that was something that I would be using a whole lot of. And guys, I just realized that this little wood they sent me is Chinese fir, which is called monkey pine around here. I can tell that by the bark. I mill a lot of it, and this stuff doesn't rot real easy. I got a couple slabs out back. So we'll do a couple of these with a logo or something. Not my logo, because I got a box full of logoed stuff over there. I give away, if you ever happen to come to the shack, there's like, I don't know if y'all had this when y'all were in elementary school. We had the little treasure chest, and if you were good all week, on Friday, you got to go to the treasure chest and pick out a prize. It was usually like a spider ring or a whistle or a sticker or a stamp or something like that. Well, I got a treasure chest, and when kids come over, I just let them dig in the box and pick out something to take with them. And that's how I get rid of all the things that I put my logo on when I'm testing machines, because it happens a lot. So I've started using other people's logos so I can give it to them, so it doesn't have to live here. So we'll put somebody's logo on this. All right. So one thing that I will tell you that I noticed is, like most cookies, this it's kind of irregular. It's a little thin here than it is here. That's something you're going to expect. In my experience with most machines, just focus it on the center unless it's really insane and go with it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Focusing it on the center. I'm going to leave that little plate in there so that if I do start to cut, I don't have to worry about putting it back in there. So let's go down to XCS and see what I can come up with here. All right, let me get my tea glass out of the way. Can't see half my screen. I got too much stuff on the table today, guys. All right, so image. Let's see what all I got. Let's see what kind of logos I can put on here other than mine. Wait a minute. Is that the deer flag? That would be cool. Oh yeah, we'll go ahead and scale this. Oh no, not exactly the deer flag. Let's keep looking. All right, let's see what else I got. Oh, oh, I'll do my friend Jason and Brooks logo. That'll work. They won't mind. So if you've never watched them, those are actually a couple of my neighbors. They do farming stuff. I think they're like 200 and something, 300 something thousand subscribers. But they do a coffee in the morning type thing on Saturday mornings. So you know what? I've got 2 of these. I can make 2 coffee coasters for them. Ha! Genius. All right, so this is not basswood plywood. It's a wood cut. Really? Is this what they're calling a wood cut? I bet it is. It's wood. Should work. So we're just going to put that on there, and I know it's not oriented properly for you OCD people like myself. I will rotate this thing minus 90 degrees so that it looks correct for you, so that nobody's OCD gets out of hand. I'm going to need to frame this to make sure I'm in the center. This is something I haven't done with this machine, so let's see how that works. All right. Ooh. All right. So the one of you guys that can't see or haven't seen this, let me see if I can get it where you can see it on the camera. It uses the blue laser, which is kind of hard to see on this camera for some reason. Yeah, it's really hard to see. I can see it in real world here. But I'm going to put the, I've got it lined up in the center. It uses the blue laser and does like a frame. So I got it as centered as I think I can get it for this object. So we'll see how this turns out. It's as centered as I can get it without marking the center and all that. So we'll see how it goes. All right, let's see what this happens. Let's see what happens. And we're going to use the batch mode on this one too. I think I can do it with this machine. Should be able to where I can put this next one in there and run the same job maybe. All right. As you can see, the fan's actually evacuating the smoke pretty well. And my painter's tape's holding up good. So most of the smoke's going outside, even though that is about a 15-foot piece of pipe. That little fan's probably struggling to try to get it to the outside. But if you were going to use this with an air system, I'd probably go ahead and stick a 4-inch fan somewhere near the exit, just to kind of make sure that the smoke doesn't get backed up in the hose. But other than the little grate that's on the end of my exhaust outside the shop, it appears to be pushing it out pretty well. We could go outside and check the vent and see how well it's airing, but obviously by the fact that it's actually pulling smoke out of the enclosure, it's going somewhere, and it's not going in the shop, so that's good. But yeah, I'll have to tag Jason and Brooke in this, or if anybody else wants to see them, or any of their followers happen to be. Look, you can see the blue laser. How can you see the blue laser through the green lens? That's wicked. It means I need to put my glasses on, I guess. I had them off since it's kind of contained. So that's actually pretty quick for that size of a graphic, I must say. Considering that the output of this machine. What's it doing now? Huh. Oh, it's doing a form. All right, so let me get that out and see what it looks like.
Not bad.
I didn't do the best job of centering it, but it wasn't bad. All right. I'm not going to give this a Brooke and them because it's not quite centered. I'll have to practice a little more next time. I wonder if, yeah, I wonder if the center is the center. I wonder if I center this in the works. Well, it says it is centered in the workspace. But yeah, it done a pretty decent job on this side. So we'll just flip it over and do some more on the other side. This was running the factory settings that they had for Coaster. I'm gonna play with that a little bit, and so it's running at 100% at 250. So I'm gonna slow that down to about 150, and we'll try the same exact logo. I'm gonna use their logo. I'm plugging them. That's good enough, right? So I'm gonna change that to 150, and this will be 250. Let me get an ink pen since I'm not giving this one to them after all. I'll make them one if they want it. So we're gonna wear out 250 on this side because that was I run that one at 250. This will just end up the burn pile. So we'll do it on the other side and we'll do it at 150. See what it looks like. All right. So it says that I can. I thought I could do framing from over here, but let me see if I can do framing. No, maybe not. So let me go back and frame because I don't really want this one too far out. I'd like for it to be somewhat on my work area. All right, that looked pretty good. Stop framing, and I'm gonna go to process and preview, start, ready to hit the button. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a lot darker. I can tell by the way it's interacting with the material, so I'll move you over to the wireless. Okay, it's the button under the knob. Okay, that explains it. I knew I hit a button earlier and it started framing. I couldn't figure out which one I hit. The little cheat sheet doesn't mention that. Yeah, I'll have to, like I said, I'm going to have to do some playing with it. But it is pretty neat and it's tiny. And I'm going to set it up to work off of Wi-Fi here shortly. Matter of fact, I guess I could go ahead and do that to see how well it works off Wi-Fi. And I'm probably just going to set it right over there for a little while. But there is a chance that it may end up at my work to mark keys and other stuff because of the IR capabilities. Now, I can bring it home if I don't need it up there, but it may seriously go to work with me for a little while. We were just talking about today how when we bring new inventory into our firearm selection, it wouldn't be a bad idea if we had a badge or name of the department or something permanently attached to them so that if one got stolen or lost, we could find it easier. Yeah, it's going to be a lot darker. It is a little slower with this setting, but a lot darker. So let me scroll through the comments and see if I missed anything, guys. I've just been playing with this machine and haven't got to do a whole lot of commenting. Tim, no, I spent a couple of days with xTool. They've remoted into the machine. The S1, I don't know what happened, but apparently there was some failures in one of the control boards. And last communication I had with xTool last night after I got through sending them some data logs and stuff like that was they suspect I may have had a board failure with it, and they're going to send me the board to replace. And, of course, I'll have to do the replacement myself, but that shouldn't be too challenging, I hope. But that happens sometimes. And like I said, I can't swear that it ain't because it's so dusty in here. I haven't taken this machine apart. I don't know exactly where the board is, but it was working. I was running it, and when I went to close the software, I always try to check and make sure of updates and stuff. And some people were having problems with their machine, so I was like, well, maybe they're on a different firmware. So I was going to update the firmware so I could make sure that that wasn't what was causing the problem. And yeah, bricked it, or something went wrong, or maybe it's a coincidence and the board just failed at that point. I don't know, but anyway, they're supposed to be sending me the parts to get it back going. So we'll see. All right, that turned out pretty nice. There you go. Look at that. Woohoo! Party. Good contrast. Next thing you know, xTool is going to be wanting me to come up with their settings. Because look at that one. That's Clack Shack settings. xTool recommended settings. Obviously a little darker. I like that better. I think darker is better. And you can actually feel too, it's actually engraved. This one you can feel it, but it's not as noticeable. So yeah, but yeah, if you hadn't, go over and tell Coghill that it's Clack Attack. So, but yeah, that material works really well. Let's see what else we got. Now I got to figure out how to swap this thing over to the blue laser, or the other laser. All right, what y'all want to see next? When you hit the process, it gives you the option to frame or start. Okay, so if I hit the process, then I can go over to, I got you, I think. We'll figure it out in a minute. Because I'll try to process this next one. All right, so this is, whoa, I really hate to mess this stuff up. Y'all know I got to do my logo on this, because this is some pretty cool looking leather. It's got a 3M sticky back. So I could stick that to something. So we're going to need to make sure we don't mess this one up. And it just happens to be perfectly round. And guess what else is round, guys? That's right, my logo. So let me clean up my work area here. I'm going to need to measure my piece. It's about 70 inside the threads. We'll go 65. This is going to be hard to line up without doing a jig, though. Tell you what I'm going to do. 70. I'm going to show you how to, if you can't make a jig, I'm going to show you how to cheat. All right, so Clack Shack logo, black. All right, let me get down here in the bottom where you can see. All right, so we're going to take that and I'm going to leave it locked and I'm going to make it 70. No, wait a minute, I said 65. Make that 65. That's going to fit on our material. Go to center. All right. Let me take that. All right, let me grab some scrap material. I'm going to cheat on this so I don't mess this patch up. All right. Never throw away junky material. You'll find a need for junky material one day. All right, hang on, my junky material's too big. Resize. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this as a score first. Get you where you see the bottom. So I'm going to run this as a score first, and I'm going to leave those wood settings in there because that worked pretty good on the other wood. So I think we'll just leave that in there for the moment. And I'm going to go ahead and process this. And what I'm doing is basically, guys, I'm making a mark on the. I'm gonna use this as basically a spoil board, and I'll make a mark, and then that way I know exactly where to put the patch. Because all I gotta do then is change the power settings, place my patch. Wrong button. Wireless is quit again. Oh, jeez. And once I place the patch, then I'll be able to send it. So let's get that done. So basically what that's doing, I don't know why my... Yeah, I do, because this is my old phone, and the battery's probably dying on it. Hang on, I gotta unlock this phone. It's getting a little warm. Or is it connected now? No. Okay, there it goes. Now it's connecting. It's a little pixelated, but it's connecting. Nope, still not working. All right, you might not have this no more. All right, so that did a really good job of engraving me a little jig. So now I'm gonna place my material carefully where that image went. All right, minor oversight. I'm gonna need a 70 millimeter circle where I can see it around that. So let me do that right quick. Try not to mess this material up. It's actually pretty nice. So I'm gonna unlock that. I'm gonna make this 72 by 72. And that way it'll show me where I need to put that. I'm gonna ignore that one. Just gonna send that, and this shouldn't take but a second. So literally, it should be done by the time I push the button. Yeah, that didn't take long at all. All right, so now I can place my material. I need smaller hands. All right, if I was going to be doing several of these, I definitely would be doing a little bit of jig manufacturing. Looks like I did a good job. It's framing appropriately, so let me go back over here and ignore the outer line. Hang on, I'll put you down here where you can see it. And take that outer line out. Change this to engrave. I need to go up here to the material. Let's see if I got this in here. Artificial leather. All right. So it's going to run it at 80 and 700 millimeters a second. So, there we go. Hopefully that'll work. What? Oh, wait a minute. Somebody set this to ignore. All right, here we go. Let's see what happens. Now that's pretty quick. I'll give it that. I hate my little camera quit on me. It's just being weird. No. Still not working. All right, we're trashing that. It's going very fast. As you can probably see, I think you can see the light as it goes back to it. Oh yeah, I am definitely used to light burn. I wish I had circle frame in XCS, and if you're watching this XCS, let's add a circle frame. Let's add rubber band frame, especially in a Galvo machine. That's what I'm used to, because in a Galvo, it'll actually show you what the image looks like on your material, as opposed to just doing the square. So, well, I'm working over here, guys. All right. Whoa! Boom! And it worked. Actually, it looks pretty good. Now, alignment could have been a fuzz better, but that's really, really close. So, oh, has it got an outline option? Let me go look at that. Oh, there is some 3 dots right there. Oh, okay. They have already added it. There we go. That's good. I still would have messed that up, though, because that is not enough for me to have even noticed it until it got printed. But it looks pretty good. So, don't want to waste the other piece of material. I'm going to put these back in this little protective thing. I might find a need for that. But yeah, wound up, coming out pretty good. Silver and black, kind of cool. I'm going to save that because I got a backpack that I wear when I go to events. And I was thinking the other day I needed like a patch I could put on there, but I didn't want to sew it because it would go into the back of the pocket. So maybe getting that guy put on my backpack. So we'll see. All right, so I gotta know. One of y'all know? Do y'all want to save me some trouble and tell me how to change it over to IR? Yeah, I found the outline frame. That was pretty cool. So I want to play with the IR too. Some of you guys already got this machine, been cheating, studying up. Y'all see what it does to anodized aluminum. Got a black card. Well, Steve, I didn't pay enough attention when I watched your video, bro. Sorry. Oh, the layer settings. Oh, okay. So you could, wait a minute. I could set one layer to blue light and one layer to IR. Now there's an idea. All right. But nah, guys, and you got to think, if y'all guys tell me how to do this while I'm in a video, you're inadvertently commenting, and comments are good, right? Gray Viking says press the IR button. I was actually looking for the button, Gray. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was looked all over that thing for a button that said IR. I actually thought maybe it was on the knob. Maybe you had to XXY square backspace or something with the button to get it to change. I didn't know. But yeah. So what I'm gonna do on this one? Let's take that off. I know y'all guys get so tired of seeing me burn my logo. Wait a minute. I got a business card file. What is that? No, that's gonna be a jig. Let's see what else I got. Oh, that's a high resolution image. Let's see what it'll do. All right, that's way too big. All right, so this is a very high resolution image, and I'm going to use out this new framing technique that y'all told me about. So go down here, and yes, I found it, guys. There it is, framing. I'm gonna do outline, 4% power, and we're gonna hit frame and see what we come up with. All right, so this side of the engrave, I want to set. I've got it where I want it. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to find my anodized aluminum. Black alumina flakes. What in the world? Aluminum sheet, black aluminum sheet. What? Good night at the stuff. Purple. I need a search box up here now, guys. All right, so black aluminum sheet. Aluminum sheet. It's getting to the point where we need a search box up there. Yeah, it won't let me. All right, so I saw business cards here. Purple, gold, blue, green. All right, we'll go with purple. The power settings for purple and black should be about the same. So we're gonna leave that one purple. All right, now I'm gonna copy this guy. I'm gonna paste it over there. All right, and we'll put this one right beside it. Now, this one, I'm going to do IR. And xTool selected reference. So make sure I got this one set to reference. Yes. So I'm going to run the blue diode setting over here and the IR over there. I guess I could add some text. That way we'll know which one's which, in case we forget. Sticking. Let me use the arrow buttons. There we go. All right, so let's confirm it again. No. Wait a minute. I put that on IR. Does it not let me do both of them in the same? I guess it will. Blue light, IR, blue light, IR. Okay. Guess we're good. That is going to be done. Change it to IR. Engrave. Confirming. Stay IR. IR. Okay. I'm going to send it while I can before I mess something else up. All right, so this is going to be basically, yeah, I've got a picture. I could do a picture. Well, I had to find it. I don't know if I got one already in SVG or whatever. Yeah, I think I would have to have it an image. This is actually a vector, but I think if I'd have to have an image to do the Jarvis and everything, wouldn't I? All right, so do it start, and let it go. Okay, it started with the IR one on the right. Okay, I think our settings were wrong. No. Let me get some Windex. Now, I will tell you, on black anodized aluminum, I don't think the blue laser is going to get the same results from my experience with the fiber, but either one is acceptable. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. Hang on, let me see if I can get my overhead camera. It doesn't do the autofocus weird thing. Hang on. So maybe you can see it back here. It's kind of. This camera does not pick up small details really well, but you can see both of them turned out really nice. The IR has more of a white color to it. The other one kind of has almost a gold or a gray sheen to it, but they both turned out really nice. the white shows up a lot better in the camera until you get it to the right angle. But yeah, that turned out really nice, and it was really kind of quick. So not bad at all. Not bad at all. Uh, Steve Gray saying that if it's a 10-watt blue diode, which I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Steve knows all the numbers better than I do. But yeah, it's like a 2-watt IR and a 10-watt blue diode. But it's doing a really good job. So, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I know this is the material they sent with it, so it's obviously they know it works well. But yeah, really nice. So let's do a little bit different this time. Let me take this completely out. Let's just get away from using the. Let's make this bigger, much bigger. All right. Put it in the middle. Still at IR. Let me frame it up. And I'm going to do a bigger one on this card. Hopefully as big as the card will allow. All right, so I got it framed up, and I'm not trying to be particular with this, guys. If I was going to do a bunch of these, I would definitely build myself a little jig. And the cool thing is if you're using a jig made out of 3mm material or cardboard or whatever to do these, then it actually will actually cut its own jigs, unlike some of the galvos that I've tried, which don't cut. This one actually is actually capable of cutting the hole for its own jig, so that's good. Creative Crafts, I would agree, or whoever it was that said it, you don't have to have a whole lot of experience with xTool software. That's the one benefit. Now, the trade-off is the creative aspect of it. It is not as, you don't have as many tools as you have in some of the other software. But if you're just getting into it, that's what I started with. Now, it was called LaserBox Basic back then, and it was very, very basic. Yeah, Steve, I've got a little thing over here, but if I was going to do a bunch of them, I would probably still, like, cut me something out. Which, I mean, it's the same thing. I use that with my Galvo, too. That was really fast. All right, I'm going to say it, Steve. You were right. All right, for a 2-watt, this thing's freaking fast. I'm pleasantly surprised of how fast it is for a 2-watt. Y'all know I've got a 20-watt Galvo fiber, and I wasn't expecting it to actually be as quick as it is. Now, it's not as fast. It's a 20-watt, of course, but it done a really good job on that. The detail is nice. You can, well, someone with really good eyesight could read the Alabama in the middle of that shield right there. I can make it out, but it's kind of fuzzy. But it's small. Very small. So that part works. What else y'all want to see? Y'all want to see the little dog tag stainless steel things here? All right. So this is the little fixture that Steve was talking about, and you can actually frame everything out and set this in there. So if you're doing these tags, now I would like to have 2 of them, but I've got some orange ones that I made out of acrylic. But you can set this little guy in there, screw it to the base, and use it as a reference so that you know every time that you're putting whatever it is back in the same spot. So I haven't been using it, but if you're going to do a bunch of things in this machine, I would definitely advise using this or some other way. All right, so Grace says he wants to see a little dog tag, so we'll open one of them up and see. I think I've got some more over here. I may have one that's already open. Hang on. I will use theirs. Just for all fairness, we'll use theirs. I've got some others. All right, so... All right, we'll use the round one here. And so that I don't have to throw it away, I'll use that badge image, and I'll take this to work tomorrow and give it to somebody for a keychain. I get tired of throwing stuff away or just stick it in a drawer. So I try to make my test pieces now something that somebody might actually like to have instead of just random logos. You know what we could do with this? I wonder if I've got his logo. Yeah, hang on. Let me see here. Let me see something. Let me try something. I don't know if I've got his logo, but let me go export it right quick. He'll be upset with me. But let me go find this logo. I'm pretty sure I still got a copy of it. I made the logo. I should have it. No, I don't want to download right now. Let's see here. I know I got it somewhere. Oh, there it is. And I bet I can make this work. All right. All right. So I got that done. Let me go over here and move this over. Come up with a new graphic. I know something I can do that somebody would want. No doubt about it. Laser files. XCS. All right, well, maybe I can't move that. Why in the world does my network do that to me sometimes? All right, let's get down here in the software. All right, so I'm going to take this out of there. And I'm going to bring in an image. He'll be wanting to drive over here in a little bit. All right, so let me get my size right. Let's see what size it needs to be. 30. So we'll make this 30. And put it in the middle. All right, so let me change my material type. Let's see if we got some stainless steel in here somewhere. Square stainless steel sheet. Bone shape, round shape. There's the exact item right there. So that should work, I hope. So we'll go over here, go to reference, change that to engrave. I'm gonna be running the IR module on this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit that framing button and get this placed. All right, guys, that was a good tip on that whole, it does actually have outline framing a while ago. That's much easier. So here we go. Let's see what it does. Let's see what this turns up looking like. This is what it's supposed to look like. And let's see what it looks like when it gets done. So go on and hit the button. I kind of feel like the button should be on the top, where you just like whack it. So it's definitely slowed itself down for this material with the IR module, which is expected. It's stainless steel. You have to take your time. And I'm running their how do you get the silver off? How do you get the silver off the shield on the black? Not sure I'm following, Greg. On the black anodized, is that what you're talking about? You talking about this guy? It's anodized aluminum, and all you're basically doing is removing the black and exposing the color beneath. Now, some of these laserable cards, actually, the black anodizing will turn with the right settings. It'll turn white if you hit the magic spot, and especially with the IR, you get more of a white look a lot of times on these cards than you do the silverish. If you look the side where I did it with the blue laser, it's not quite as brilliant, but it's still got just as much detail. So, if that's what you're asking about, use the red button, Steve. I'm thinking I'm probably not going to be using that red button unless I have to. I'm going to be honest with you there. But yeah, this is it's pretty neat. I mean, I will say that it's pretty neat. And when you pick it up, like I said, it's small, but it doesn't feel like a toy for sure. It's kind of it's kind of got a little mass to it, so it feels sturdy. No, Greg, that's anodized aluminum. We have some acrylic, little small pieces, which I'll never use for anything else, so we can test those if y'all want. Unless somebody got something else they want to do first. Yeah, this is like the world's smallest pieces of acrylic, but it's good for testing. I've got some bigger sheets up there as well. There you go, black acrylic. So we'll get that up next. I'm guessing it's still engraving. It looks like it is. I'm gonna put the cards away because I think once you've seen an anodized aluminum card done and it does a good job, black's probably the best one as far as getting cool results. But like I do know that with the fiber, I can get white text on most any anodized card with the right settings. But we'll put these back over here in the drawer for now. We don't want to be all night testing these little things. It's engraving it with a bit of a gold sheen to it, so that'll be kind of cool. Let me look through these comments and see if I missed anything, guys. I hadn't been very attentive to the comments. Well, Gray, the problem is I don't own a knife that hadn't already been engraved, so I've got several. Matter of fact, this one needs to be cleaned. I've opened so many boxes with this one; it's got tape all over it. But yeah, I don't have very many knives that don't have something already engraved on them. Will it do the blue diode and IR in the same job? Engrave the acrylic R and cut with blue. Yeah, I mean, I did a job a while ago with two different layers in there with the two badges. We did this job, and one layer was blue and one layer was IR, and the one that says IR was the IR. So yes, you can create different layers and have it switch between the two modes while it's burning a file, because we did that on that card. I was kind of curious about that too, and there's probably a lot of people in here going, yes, you can. But guys, like I said, this is as real as it gets as far as unboxing and running a machine that I'm not familiar with, because it's literally, I've watched a few videos, but I really didn't pay attention to the how-to part of it because I didn't have one. So when this one showed up, literally I'd watched a couple of Steve's videos. I know, dang it. I can't remember his name now. I get vapor locked sometimes. It's been a long week fighting with Etsy and everything this week. Hang on. I can look at my news feed because he shows up in my news feed every day. God, I can't remember. Why's my memory failing, guys? Is it get worse? Please tell me it doesn't. But Sam Craft. Sam. Jeez. Why can't I remember Sam? That's a pretty simple name. But I know Sam, he has one that he's used in some videos. And so I'd watched his videos as well as Steve's. And I knew it was capable. Yeah, see, Steve put it up there. I was out looking for the name. But I was paying attention to, did it do what needed to be done, but not as much how to work it. No, I had to go to my news feed because I watch so much of Sam's stuff. Every time I open up YouTube, it's just him and Steve. Because I try to keep up with what they got going on and try to watch their videos to support their channels and stuff. Try to give them that little thumbs up every now and again. Maybe a share. Like Steve's videos, I try to always hit that like button at least twice on every video that Steve's got. Ain't that right, Steve? You gotta hit it twice to make it count, right? You hit it once to like and then another time to unlike. Ain't that? But yeah, guys, this was actually a little machine that I felt like I could use for some stuff, especially Cyberstalk. No, hey, if they don't want you watching the videos, they won't put them out there. Like if I didn't want you guys to see this, I just wouldn't share it. So, it's not cyber stalking when they like invite you to watch. Let's see what it looks like. Now, this is something I've learned with my my other machine, is these can get hot. So you gotta be cautious. I don't think this one's gonna be that hot, but they can get hot. Okay, no, it wasn't bad. I didn't figure a 2-watt would get too terribly hot. Let me spray it with some Windex and wipe it down and see what it looks like. Oh, that actually looks pretty awesome. He's probably not even watching the video. He don't even know this exists. I don't know how well it's going to pick up on the camera. Oh. Y'all mind your business. Don't say nothing. Hey, you can have this bottle of water back. I didn't get to it.
I didn't figure you did.
Yeah, I wasn't that bad. Yes, you can have this one as well.
Thank you.
Sorry, there goes the cat. But yeah, it turned out pretty good. Brandy's bringing me some more tea. Yeah, she's pretty awesome. I don't say it in front of her though. Nobody tell her. But she's pretty awesome. She'll bring me tea and stuff. Look, guys. You can't turn a camera on around here without that cat wanting to be in the picture. Oh, this is going to be terrible with the light situation. Maybe I can just take a picture. Let me just take a picture of it, and then I'll blow it up on my phone where you guys can see it, if I can find my phone. Fluffy, what are you doing back there? Hey, Steve, you ought to see it when it's coming like a real bad downpour and we got like tornadoes in the area. A lot of times I'm like, hey, I'm gonna need a little bit of room service tonight, or what they call that, Uber Eats or whatever. I'm like, are they running tonight? Yeah. Other than the fact that there's a hole in the top of this thing right where some of his text is, it actually turned out pretty nice. Let me zoom it in where you can see. It actually did mark it, and that's what it looks like. So it's kind of hard to see with the camera, so that's why I'm having to kind of cheat and use my cell phone, take a picture with it. Now it's not engraved per se. This is, I mean, you can somewhat tell there's something on the surface of it, but there's not a lip or anything. Because I mean, it's just 2.5 watt. It will discolor and cause metals to change, but I would have to run this several passes to get like a true engrave. But this is a marking that should not come off without sanding. So, oh, there it is. There it goes. I got the light right. There you go. You can see it. So it's on there. I'm gonna turn it over right quick, and no, I'll just leave it like that. I'll leave it on that one side. So we're gonna put it back in the drawer. And if he doesn't watch the video and see that I've done this and mention it to me, we'll just keep it. So, acrylic. Somebody was asking about acrylic. So, let's see what happens. And I'm tired of changing up engraves. So what we'll do is we'll run the same design, maybe a little bigger. How big can we go? And then we'll do it with, okay, so we can take this up to about 40 millimeters. So let me set this over in the machine. Down to design. So I'm going to take this right here and I'm going to run the IR, I think, again. So we'll go up here to 3 millimeter black acrylic. Run that as an engrave. Reference material using the IR. 200 LPI, one pass, bidirectional. That's good. Insert, circle. We'll see if it'll cut acrylic. So we'll make this 42 to stay away from the engrave a little bit. About 42. And then I'll resize this guy to 38. And then we'll put them together. Hang on, let me do it this way. All right, so frame that out. Outline, yes. All right. Some of y'all probably thought I was going to forget to change this to cut, didn't you? Yeah, almost did. I'm not going to lie. Almost did. So, all right. So we got it at 2 millimeters a second, 100% power. That's their settings that they put in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to engrave this and then cut it out right there. And I've got this set to run IR. And then the cut is set to run the blue light to cut it. So we'll see how it works out. And that's using their recommended settings. So, and I forgot to show you the screen. But anyway, this is going to engrave using the IR on the acrylic. And then this outer line is going to cut to try to cut it out with. So let's see what happens. Oh, appreciate it, Jay. Like I said, that's actually why I started my Etsy shop. People started asking me for the files, and I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Dude, I'll pay you." And so that's, I mean, I don't try to make a whole lot of money off those files, but it does help me when I'm, like buying materials for testing, or like when I cut through a bunch of wood trying to get those things to where they work right. I've gotten better at it. I don't waste as much material now trying to develop those jigs as what I did in the beginning, but early on, man, I'd burn like 5 or 6 of those until I could get all the little imperfections out. Guys, y'all are going to be impressed with what this thing does in black acrylic. Because I am. Woo. Y'all want to bet? Y'all want to bet I can't get Klein in here? If he's out of his practice. He had practice today. But let's see if he shows up. You know what? I was going to do some earring videos this week with the P2. I actually made, well, Brandy's got them. I made a set of earrings with the P2. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not too sure that this thing would be faster on those acrylic earrings than the P2. And it's a little easier to get to. So, may have to shift gears on the P2 video and make it a F1 video now that I got this. Ooh, that's really slow on the cut, but we'll see how it works out. As long as it don't catch fire. If it does, I got a spritzing bottle right there. And you guys notice there's a fire extinguisher hanging right there. Hopefully we won't need that. I've never had a fire get big enough to need a fire extinguisher. My old recycled Windex bottle with some water in it is usually all I need, if it ever happens. I've only had like 2 situations where I had to break that out. Oh, there he is. There he is. Oh, you're just in time. I thought that might get your attention. Hey. Oh, I done put it up. I told everybody I was just going to put it in a drawer, and if you didn't watch the video and see it, you weren't going to get it. I made myself a Klein's engraving keychain. Yep. I'm also burning your logo again. Klein, look at that. Clean drop out of the little piece of black acrylic. That's a good idea. It's a good thing. Look at that. Oh. Oh, black acrylic, guys. Black acrylic right there. Look at that. Now, I will say this. I can feel the taper on this. Like, the taper goes that way, and when you're holding it, you can kind of feel there is a taper. But for what this is, you know, I mean, that's not gonna be a problem. It might actually be even cooler if you're sticking it to something, because the edge is, you've almost got like a little like design on the edge almost. But you know, that worked out pretty nice. Turned out good. Turned out pretty good. There we go. So we'll put this over here in the drawer. I've got all kinds of acrylic up there that I can play with. Save that for another day. What else come in the pack that you guys want to see? All right, I got another piece of acrylic. We've done the cards. Steve, I think Steve did a lot of the coasters, the Slate. So, and I'm not sure what this stuff is exactly. I'll have to research this. It looks like just black cardboard. It's probably some of that scratch board. Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. This is gonna be that scratch stuff. Yeah, we'll wait on that. Try a face. Oh, you saying you've done that before with it, Jay? Can you say for sure that it does do a good job on that? That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, I'm gonna stick this. I'll do a coaster video one day. I don't want to just do one random coaster without having somebody that wants a coaster. All right. So I do have one more piece of the acrylic. Guess with a lion. I wonder if I could use some of their AI software. That was in the other version, I think. I don't think I got that no more. You know, I still got access to it. I may have to log in. I may have to hide it from you guys. Somebody steals my credentials. Spends all my points in the xTool shop. Let's see what we can find. Let me get over in the software. Let's see what I can find that we can do an image quality. XArt AI. Yep, I might log in. And I don't remember my password. Do not remember my password, so we're not gonna be able to log in. But let me see if I can get a picture of a. Let's see, what can we do? Lion. He said he did a tiger. It turned out pretty good. Lion in a field. Generate. Oh, it's gonna make me log in. I don't remember my password. Well, that's inconvenient. Hang on, let me go over here. Let me go over here and check my passwords, guys. Give me just a minute. I reinstalled the software and haven't used this feature since I reinstalled it. So I got to go find my password right quick. And I'll be back shortly. Oh, that's what it was? I thought it was. Y'all have a problem with having so many passwords that you just can't keep up with all of them? I do. All right, but I got into it, so work that out. Let's go. Somebody said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that ain't it. A lion in a field. Let's see what we can find. Generate. Let's see what the Autobots come up with. Or the Decepticons. Whoever's working for us today. Okay, I think this will look better. So we'll import that. All right, so make it smaller. What did we say that thing was a while ago? 40? All right. Let's see. Comment. Original. Yeah. We're going to go with original. Engrave. IR. 200. 85. DPS 550. Jarvis. I prefer Jarvis. I mean, we could. Oh, it's a Galvo. It might do good on grayscale. We'll run grayscale. Let me frame it. Make sure I got my material where it needs to be. All right, so it framed okay. I'm not going to cut this out. I'm just going to engrave it on this piece of material. So we'll see how it goes. It took a second. Okay, I'm not seeing it doing nothing. Wait a minute. It says it paused. That's because I hit the button. Press the button to start processing. All right, it says it's doing it, but it ain't doing nothing. I got some settings messed up somewhere, guys. I'm gonna cancel this and start it over. Something is not correct. All right, engrave IR. Grayscale. 3mm black acrylic. Let me see what I got going on here. Uh, 1 to 85% power. I'm gonna say 30. I think that's the problem. It was bottoming out too low, I think. Maybe. DPI is 550. Wonder what it's capable of. Let's see if we can go to 700. All right, see if that's what it was. I think now that I've seen that setting, I think it Let's see. Yeah, it's going to look different if I don't negative it. Somebody said something about a negative image. I could go in here. Will it let me negative it? There. Ooh, no. No, I think we're good. Black should be darker. I think I like that look better. So the blacks are going to be here. So the blacks are going to be burned, but they're technically going to be white. Yeah. All right, let's see what this looks like. So black's gonna burn. It'll be white. Yeah, that ought to work. Okay, it's actually doing something this time. Yeah, that bottom end of the power output was what had it. That 1% just is not right. But yeah, I don't do a lot of engraving on black backgrounds, so I almost overlooked the whole fact that it was going to turn white on me. I'm used to working on wood, but yeah. I may have actually turned it up too high. I may have should have left it a little lower. We may have to flip that thing over and try again on the other side. And if y'all guys hadn't noticed, I don't do a whole lot of images in XCS anyway. And when I do, it's usually on wood. Slate, black acrylic, and this stuff here. I may actually have to order me some of this. Klein, look what else I got. There is no Klein's engraving logo, but that's gonna look sweet on my little backpack I got for events. That's gonna look good. The setting may be close. It may be a little too white, so I may have to run it again in a minute. A little different. Full circle. I think if you weren't used to using Lightburn, then I think the software XCS is definitely simpler. It does a really good job with images, especially the AI created images that it pulls in. So if you're not comfortable with, taking an image and running it through Imager or taking it into Photoshop and setting it up to work with Lightburn, I think XCS would be more comfortable for you in the beginning. But as you get to where you're trying to do other things, there are some tools that I think Lightburn brings to the table that you would want. But with something like this, where you're not going to be cutting out, you're not going to be designing like big boxes and stuff like that necessarily. I see this machine mostly being intended for engraving multiple variety of materials, as well as maybe some light cutting of acrylics and thin wood, maybe some paper stock, stuff like that. So I think all in all, I think XCS is a good fit for this machine for sure. But so far, so good. Verl, you could. I've actually looked at buying myself a little relay that I could set up to run off of wireless that would have like a little makeshift 3D printed finger. And when I hit the button on the key fob, it would push the button using a little electric actuator and maybe a 9-volt battery. But I figure that's probably more hassle than it's worth. I just go over and hit the button. It gets a little annoying when the machine's further away. But like with this machine, most of the time I'll either have it on a cart or have it sitting right here where I can just slide over to it. So it's not that big deal. Gray, the back surgery went well, but I've got another one that we didn't address during the surgery that sometimes especially when I'm twisting and turning a lot. I'll irritate it a little bit, and it'll start talking to me. So if you see me stretching and twisting, that's what that's about. They fixed the L4, L5, I think, but the L5 S1 had some issues, but at the time it was not a priority. I was trying to avoid having to have anything done to it. Like I said, it don't bother me anywhere near like what the other one was, but it's just occasionally I'll get a catch in it, and it just don't want to like release, and it gets to irritating that sciatic nerve a little bit. It's coming along. It does have pretty good resolution. I will say that. So, all in all, like I said, guys, because I don't want to keep y'all too much longer. I should have some supper done here in just a few minutes. But all in all, for what I think this machine is built for and should be used for, it's doing a pretty good job. I can't complain. I can't complain. I've had some bad experiences with some blue galvos. This one, and I'm gonna be honest with you, the longer one that I tried the other day, it wasn't terrible, but I've had some terrible ones in here. Now, doing it at this resolution is by no stretch of the imagination fast. Yeah, Jay, I'm used to using Lightburn, and I don't do as many faces and as many portraits as I used to do. When I first got into laser engraving, like my first xTool D1, I think I paid for that thing doing wedding photos on a piece of cedar or wedding photos on a piece of poplar or whatever. So, it's, if you do a lot of it, yeah, I mean, it may be simpler in XCS because I don't know what kind of engine they have in there as far as parsing it out or whatever, but it does a really good job without having to use like Photoshop to optimize your image. Typically, I do that in Photoshop before I put one in a Lightburn, so most of the heavy lifting is done before I put it in the software to burn. But yeah, XCS, if you're not using a third software or second software to edit your images like Photoshop or one of the other online resources, and yeah, it does take some of the sting out of it. Galvo is basically what this is, but a Galvo, whereas your traditional, you have a traditional XY gantry machine where the laser head moves about the workspace and fires directly down onto the material. Then you have Galvos. Actually, the laser head on a Galvo does not move. It sits stationary, and it's kind of the beam is projected forward, and there's mirrors that can move basically in any direction, and by that mirror moving, it reflects the laser into a different area. And so, mechanically speaking, even though it's a blue diode laser, the way in which that beam is being moved about the work area is different. And they call them a galvo because, and I may get this wrong as far as pronunciation, because they use a galvanometer, which is that little mirror that just sits there and does this weird, back and forth to reflect that laser. Kind of like if you take a laser and shine it into a mirror, like just a handheld mirror, you can move that laser all around the room without actually moving the laser module itself. Same basic principle. So it's just different operation as far as the laser. That's why the beam's actually coming out behind a lens, and that lens is fixed. Now they do some like math and some correction with the lens to maintain the focus and all that. That's why the lens is kind of shaped convex or concave, depending on which side you're at. But it allows that beam to project 16 inches or 10 inches or whatever the case may be, and be focused. They're usually a little more particular about focus than, say, a down-firing machine. with galvos, you want a relatively flat workpiece. Not that it can't do curved stuff. I mean, you can do it with a if you had a rotary, but you want it relatively flat because, like I said, because that beam is coming from such a distance, galvos tend to be a little more particular about whether they're focused or not. If you get out of focus with a galvo, the fall off from being out of focus is more substantial than it is if it's a straight firing gantry design machine. From my experience, some may argue that, but from my experience, these guys you gotta have them focused or at least really close to focus to get the best results. And that window, like with galvo, you've got real fine margin of error, whereas with a gantry style, that margin's a little bigger, so it's a little more forgiving if your material's kind of not flat. Now, I will say this, Jay, XCS, if you're just sticking with xTool machines, you can do a lot with XCS. And if you're not big into building your own custom files necessarily, if you're doing just wanting to do stuff that you can purchase or download or get from their shop or whatever, then the tools that Lightburn offers may or may not be something that you're interested in. But I do a lot of building designs and stuff that I find it a lot easier to do in Lightburn. Now, in all fairness, I've gotten so comfortable with Lightburn, I don't usually try file designing in XCS because I have to learn the techniques where I already know them in Lightburn. So, Steve, have you tried this machine in Lightburn? Does it work? I bet it wouldn't because I don't know how it would know to swap between one laser diode and the other unless you had a macro. So I bet that would be a problem. This is taking a minute. Yeah, I went a little hot with my power settings, so yeah. Next time I'm gonna have to go a little lower. I may rerun it again with a lower resolution just to see what it looks like. But I went a little hot with my my power. Not bored. I mean, you could always get yourself Fusion and design in Fusion if you wanted to. I think you can actually use a lot of the features in Fusion for free without having to get a license. But I have a license, so I use Fusion to design 3D stuff, to design 3D printing, 3D engraves, test fit files sometimes if I'm using a physical object. It should be about done. It's about to run out of material. Yeah, Jay, if all you're running is a D1 Pro and an F1, like I said, creative space is a lot better than it used to be when it was called LaserBox Basic. Wow. It looks really good, but I kind of messed up the settings. I went a little too hot, a little too high LPI. So I'm gonna do a quick version of this by peeling the other side, and if I can get it to peel. So I'm gonna peel the other side of this off, and we'll go in there and change the settings a little bit. Hey, don't be making fun of my accent now. Y'all got one too. You ought to hear it from my side. All right, so let's go with about 250 on the LPI. I think that'll look okay. And let's take the power settings, go down to 17, and we'll back it down to about 75. So I'm gonna change the settings up a little bit and try it from there. See how that works out. This should be much faster because I'm running like half the LPI is what it was, or a third of the LPI. So that's what the preview looks like. So it's still good. So let's see what happens to the button. Okay, I may have came off power too much. Jay, Jay can't stand it. He's like, let me give you the settings. He don't work that out. That looks better. It ain't gonna be as bright, but now I gotta play with the machine, guys. Y'all literally saw me get it out of the box. What, 2 hours ago? Less than 2 hours ago. So I'll have to learn the settings for this. I've never had a 2-watt IR. xTool had mentioned sending me the machine, the 2-watt head for the xTool. Then they mentioned they might send it to me for the S1, and they never did. So this is the first 2-watt IR I've ever used. My other one is a 20. So yeah, I killed off too much of the power that time. It's not gonna leave a good enough mark. What's up, 3DHP? How are you, sir? That was quicker though. That's not terrible, but it's not really that dark either. Oh wait, it's kind of hard to see with the light situation. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see, but it turned out much lighter than the other side, but it's still got some pretty good resolution. I'd have to play around with this. This could take a little tweaking to get it exactly right, but I can see where there's definitely some potential there for acrylics, the black acrylic. With it being an IR, it's still not going to do clear, unless there's something that they've done differently. I know my fiber that I have, dedicated fiber, will not engrave clear. I'm assuming, being that this is still 1064, I'm assuming it will not. But yeah, the first one turned out pretty good. I could have worked on the contrast a little bit, but that's some really fine detail. But I think I do want to do a coaster. Hang on. All right, so this is the coaster they sent. I've got a whole bunch of them. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one here. Not doing anything to it. Somebody messaged me the other day, asked me what I do to coasters, and pretty much my answer was I keep them square. That's the prep. So that's what I do with them. You know what? Since I got all this stuff with my logo on it, why not? Let's give him one more thing to take home when he comes by. So this coaster, let me get my handy dandy measuring apparatus out. And when you're doing these coasters, one thing that I will tell you, it's easier to measure from the back because of this the way they chip the edges. So yeah, it's this one's not quite 4 inches, so it's going to be, we're going to call this 95 millimeter logo is what we need. So let me go back down here to the screen, and we're going to make this one, I don't know why that's not the same on both sides, but whatever. So we're going to make that 95. And see, this is where I get hung up with the software sometimes. Put over there, change this to stone coat. Is that what they're called in Slate? I'm guessing. Yeah, should be. Go to engrave and frame. So let me go over here and see if I can get it lined up right. Okay, the chipped edges of the coaster are not going to allow me. Let's see. Somebody said earlier I could resize while framing and it would work. Let's try that. See if it worked. See, I'm not trusting it. Hang on. Yeah, maybe you can. Let me shrink it way down where I can tell if I can adjust the size while I'm framing. Let me get it really small here compared to what it was. I'll be George. It works. All right, so that does work. I'll give him one. He can keep it in the shop. His wife ain't gonna let him put them all over the house. So you can actually resize the image while you're framing. Somebody mentioned that earlier. I just tested it, and it does work. So let's see how long it takes to do this. Wait a minute. Why has it got so many lines in it? On the preview, it's showing some lines. So let me go back and look at my settings and make sure I got stuff right. 90. Why is the LPI on 90? Let's go and run that up to about 180. There we go. More better. More better. All right. So here we go. Let's see how fast this is. Y'all ready? Wait. Let me double check the focus. One benefit of having to push the button. All right. It's 1918. Let's see what happens. See how fast this goes. See, Verl's trying to remind me to check the focus. But luckily, it's got the 2 dots, and when I set the Slate coaster down there, I saw it before I hit the button. I do like the fact that it's got a red dot and a blue dot instead of a bunch of red dots. It does kind of catch your eye a little better. Because you have to get the red and the blue lined up correctly. Not... I thought I showed you a second ago. No, it doesn't have a kickstand focus, Gray. It has 2 lights. Let me see if I can get my little... If I can get my portable phone back to working. No, it's died. The way it works is it's got a red pointer and it's got the blue dot. And when you raise and lower those, what you want to do is they're fixed. So you have to raise it or lower it. And as you raise it and lower it, those dots come closer together. And you want to get it to where they're at the closest point possible on the material where they impact the material. Once you do that, it's focused. So you don't have any physical means of setting the focus. It's all done using the visual of those 2 dots that are kind of side by side. Once you do that with the surface of the material, you're good to go. Now, with galvos, like I said, typically speaking, galvos are a little more sensitive to being out of focus, so you always want to make sure you're in focus with them. And I'm running this one, I think I was running it on IR. I'll make sure I ran this on IR and not on the blue diode. Looking at the color of the light, it's more of a white through the cover, so I'm guessing that is IR because I have been noticing that the light, you can still see the blue through this green cover a little bit. But yeah, it uses more of a triangulation based on where the laser beams hit the material. But as you can see, that light's kind of a white through that green. The blue is actually, you can still see a little bit of the blue through there. But yeah, if you're just going to do small stuff and doing coasters or doing personalizations at events and stuff like that, and all you need is a small work area, I mean, this works. You could even take the bottom plate out, and let's say if I had a big cutting board and I wanted to do the corner of it. Yeah, I'm using the IR on the Slate. So there we go. Woo! Well, if I can get it in front of the camera. There you go. So pretty sure I'd set this to IR. Let me double check. Get you down here to the screen. No, that was the blue light. Never mind. I guess it was the blue. Okay. I wanted to try IR. It didn't let me. Oh well, that was the blue laser, but it done a good job. So, which is it is a lot more output. And with Slate, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think diodes do as good a job on Slate as any other machine. I've tried that with my 20-watt Galvo, and Slate is relatively easy. Uh, and it didn't get any of that golding on there, so that's good because a lot of times, especially with yeah, it was around 3 minutes, and there's a lot of engraving in that. That's not just a line, so it's actually engraved a lot. So if you were just making a line or making a design, it wouldn't take that long. Like I said, let me turn it around on the back because if Klein's going to put this in his shop, I got a special surprise that I want to put on the back right here. Hang on. So let's get back down to the screen. All right. So we got to make sure we put this right in the middle of whatever we give Klein. All right, so we frame that up. So a lot of times he'll come over here and be like wanting to use my tools, wanting to use my shop, or having me help him with something. And I've got a rubber stamp that I made that I stamped my logo on the back of wood stuff with. There I am with that. Look, see, got to go back and change the LPI. And I'll take that rubber stamp a lot of times and sneak around to whatever it is we're making of his, and put my stamp on it. So when he gives it to somebody or sells it to somebody, if they turn it over and look at the back, it'll have the Clack Shack logo on it. It's sneaky, I know. But technically, if it's made here, it was made in the Clack Shack, whether I did all the work or not. So he's just gonna have to, he has to get used to that. Yeah, this one ain't gonna take long at all. So there we go. Now we can give it to Klein, and he can take it and put it in his shop. And in the event that somebody's looking at it, they'll know. So cool. But yeah, guys, so far it works pretty well. I did not ask for the extension. I do have a RA2 Pro. Actually, I have two of them, and I'm pretty sure I got all the last one that I got has been since the last one I got was the one that came with the P2. And so I'm pretty sure I have a cable that'll work with it because it came with like 3 cables. So if I want to use it on tumblers, I have that option. And that's actually one of the things that I had thought about it would be pretty good at, especially having that IR module. It might not be as fast as some machines, but if I wanted to do just plain stainless, I could do those. If I wanted to do regular tumblers that are coated, I could do that. So that's kind of where I am with the machine. I just felt like for small objects, it would be something pretty cool to have. And Steve likes to throw up to me that I don't have an F1. And a lot of you guys were asking about it, what it was capable of, what it could do, how did I use it, and I didn't have one. So when xTool kind of mentioned that they might have one, I was like, okay, yes, I wouldn't mind having it. I don't want the air purifier because I just don't know that those are going to be an effective long-term solution, and I didn't want anything that big that had to take up room and have to keep around here. I can run it off of like what I'm doing right now. I've got it popped out of my air hose that I usually use for the other machine there, but I actually can get me a junction and put it in line with that one if I wanted to, but I need to put a blast gate between the two machines. So, but it's relatively easy, portable, all that good stuff that they advertise, and so far it works really well. And if you've never used XCS, I'm going to go over here right quick before I turn it off. because I do plan on using this machine wirelessly. Because the one thing I will say xTool's got on everybody else is if you want to use one on Wi-Fi, xTool's Wi-Fi works. Sometimes even better than the USB, but xTool's Wi-Fi works. So that way I can just go in here and pick on whichever network I want to put it on. Apparently, it only works with a 2.4 gigahertz network. I have multiple networks out here. So that way, no matter what the machine is, I can get it to work with it. So I'm just going to hook it to the home net and go from there. So once you put the Wi-Fi settings in, it will tell you that it's complete, and all you have to do now is disconnect the USB cable. So we'll see if that works. All right, so now I'm going to go over here to connect. Let's see what it finds my device. There's the F1. Why is the S1? S1 ain't got power to it, does it? Yes, the S1 actually does have power to it. So we're going to connect to the F1. And there we go. So yes, it's operating now off of Wi-Fi. So we're good. I'm going to go unplug that S1. I forgot I had plugged it up to get some data logs off of it. And I also have the P2 and a D1. I don't have a D1 Pro anymore. My buddy Tip was needing an upgrade from his old D1 10 watt. And so me and Tip worked out something to where he got an upgraded D1 Pro. And he's happy. So, but anyway, guys, yeah, hey, I just got to put that logo on there, man. What's wrong? But yeah, that's first impressions, unboxing. You saw how difficult it was. It wasn't very difficult. Let's face it, it's pretty cool. And considering the footprint of this little thing is like 8 foot by 6, or 8 foot, 8 inches by 6 inches. That's not a lot of counter space. And you're looking at with the handle around 14 inches. So you could put it, I mean, this is literally one of those machines that you could take the cable, the power. Once you got it connected to Wi-Fi, you can literally roll the power cable up, put it inside it, shut the door, pick it up by the handle, put it on a shelf in your closet. So that's what I was looking at. Is it was small, it's portable. It's something that I could see people, especially people that like the xTool products. Maybe you have a D1 and you want to just do small stuff with it, or if you don't have a whole lot of room, you know, because I forget sometimes that not everybody has 8 acres of property in a 20 by 24 shop, because where I live, a lot of people do. Of course, Klein's shop is not that big. He's using like a corner of his garage, but I know there are actually people that I've talked to this week that say that they live in an apartment and they kind of have to store their stuff in a closet and then get it out, take it out to the balcony and use it on the balcony. This is a machine you can do that with. If you are somebody that wants to get into laser engraving and you live in an apartment and you have limited space, this is a way you could do it. I mean, you would be limited, surely, to what you could do. But by taking that bottom plate out, this machine and some of the others do the same thing. You can actually engrave through the bottom of the machine. So if you're doing a cutting board and all you want to do is put a logo on the corner of it, you could literally pick the machine up, set it on top of it, and engrave through the bottom of the machine onto the surface. So that situation, it would be really, I can see where it'd be really, really easy for somebody to be able to take this. And like I said, you could literally go get you a little, like a bar stool and set it out on your patio or out on your balcony or something and operate it. So just something that you guys had asked me about, and I thought I would mention to you. B. Neal said you can run the F1 and the S1 simultaneously. I'm pretty sure you can. I think you'd have to throw up different instances of XCS. I haven't tried doing that. I've done it with Lightburn, but are you saying that you can, or are you saying, are you asking, can you? Because I can't confirm that you could, but I would think so. Epic, no, I did not get the slide extension. And just to be honest with you, I don't think that's something that I will use a lot. If you're interested in videos about how to use that and how it works, Sam over at Samcraft, he has that, and I would strongly recommend, if that's something you're interested in, that you just go check him out. Like I said, Sam is a good guy. He does I think he's got an xTool P2. He's got a new Thunder laser that he just started using, and as well as he's got the F1. And he does a lot of like jigs and stuff for the slide bed. That wasn't something that I thought I would use a lot of, and so when they asked me about taking the machine, I told them I didn't really want all that. I just wouldn't mind trying out the machine itself. So anyway, that's what I was going to just pass on to you guys. Yeah, see, Jay says he currently lives in a one-bedroom apartment that's technically one-bedroom factory, but his landlord has no idea. And like I said, small exhaust, not a lot of exhaust needed because it doesn't generate as much smoke as some of the other machines. And yes, it would be great for somebody that has a limited work area, limited storage area. Now, you got to have a pretty decent budget with this machine. I will say there are a lot cheaper machines out there that are built similar, but I've tested a few of them, and I will tell you that so far, this one does work better than the other ones that I've tested. Now, you pay for that. That is not cheap. So that's where you got to figure out is where your heart lies between costs and size and functionality. Because I know not everybody's budget, just like everybody doesn't have the space, not everybody's budget's the same either. So, but I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all stopping by. I'm going to go grab me another glass of tea, maybe get some supper, all that cool stuff. But if you are interested in the machine and you do decide that you want to get one, I did drop a link down below. And yes, guys, it's an affiliate link. As you know, xTool does give me credit for any kind of sales. If you guys decide you want to buy one and you use my link, I get credit for that. And it does two things, is they do give me a little bit of money without costing you money. Plus, when it comes time for them to try out new equipment, the more clicks that I get on those links, where even if you don't buy anything, if you just click that link and go look at it, when they pull my numbers, they're going to be like, hey, this guy, people look at our stuff a lot through his channel, so yes, we'll let him have it. And that's what has enabled me to be able to get this, just simply by when they said something about, we'll work together on something later. I was like, well, if you have an extra F1, I have people asking me questions about it, and I don't know how to answer them. So the next thing I got was a shipping notice. So that helps also when y'all click those links. So even if you don't buy anything, just click the link. You don't have to buy. But if you do buy, by all means, use my links. I would definitely not cut anything without adequate ventilation. Engraving. Yeah, Jay. Yeah, cutting it does throw a little bit of smoke. Now, you couldn't see it here because I do have it ventilated. I don't know about properly, but I do have it ventilated. But yeah, but the cool thing is you can come up with some ventilation capabilities as long as you have a window. So, but anyway, guys, I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping by. I hope this was enjoyable, entertaining, or informative for you. And if it was, be sure to hit that thumbs up button on your way out. And anytime you have questions, comments, or whatever, go check it out on the Facebook page, and you can send me a message there if you have it. I will reply as soon as possible. I do work a day job. This is my night job, and then I sleep for about 6 hours. So be mindful that if you message me during the day, I'm probably at my real job, and I can't answer laser questions, but you should hear from me about 5 o'clock that afternoon if I haven't got back with you earlier. And also, my Etsy shop is back open. I am out of Etsy jail. That was a big scare. It's over. So if you missed that part, we talked about how I got put in Etsy jail in the beginning of the video. Feel free to go back and watch the replay. And hopefully I can prevent other people from getting put in Etsy jail, timeout, whatever you want to call it. But till next time, guys. Martin, no, it's not fixed yet. I spent a couple of nights troubleshooting it at the request of xTool. And I'm going to be honest with you, with the experience I have with lasers, I felt like I knew what the problem was. I felt like the board had either corrupted itself to the point to where it couldn't be updated, or either had a some type of failure as far as the hardware goes. But they wanted to test it, and because I kind of want to know what the service is like, I went along with it. We tested. I pulled data logs. I actually allowed them to remote into that computer that I used to run a CNC with, connected it to the S1. They tried to fix it remotely, was not successful, and the last notice I got was from my xTool contact as well as the support folks saying that they were going to recommend the board be replaced and that they should have me one shipped out soon. So I'll let you know how that goes. But that's not the first machine. I've had other machines that have had similar problems. And mine was one of the first S1s that they released. I don't know if that has a bearing. It could be that I have so much dust in here. When I take it out, I do want to look at the board and see, is there a fan? Is there a heat sink that might be stopped up or whatever? Because let's face it, guys, I've had the machine quite a while. It is really very dusty in here. The way that machine's built, I don't even know where the board is. I'm going to have to find it to be able to replace it. But there is a possibility that could have been a heat-related casualty due to the dust. I didn't volunteer that, but that is a possibility. And when I pull the old board out, I do want to look and see if I can tell if it was a heat-resulted injury or whatever that caused the failure, or if it was just maybe it was a bad board. But the machine was working. I went to put the firmware update in, and it quit like almost instantly. So I'm thinking it was the data somehow got corrupted in the data stream, and it just messed up the file structure so that it couldn't be recovered. But who knows? You never know with these things. Trust me, I've been doing IT work, computer forensics for a long time. Sometimes there just is no, obtainable explanation for what happened. Sometimes it just happens. But until next time, guys, if you missed the first part, feel free to do the replay, and you can kind of do like some time travel and stuff. But I'm going to get off of here and go get me some supper. So good night, and I hope to see maybe a few more videos of it. Till next time, be safe and have a good day.